Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News. I am Frank Cizadet, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. We'll take a look at the headlines. INEC declares Kebbi governorship election inconclusive. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel appreciated the people of the state for their good judgment in the just concluded elections. Plus, 15 reportedly dead as earthquake hits Peru and Ecuador. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for staying with us. We begin this afternoon with an electoral report that the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has declared the governorship elections in Kebbi State as inconclusive. The collation and returning officer of the election, Yusuf Sadu, announced their position at the collation center situated at INEC headquarters in Benin, Kebbi. He said there were council elections in 20 of the 21 local government areas of Kebbi State, cutting across a number of registration areas in different polling units. He noted that they had no option but to refer to the electoral laws on page 31 of the Electoral Act 2022, Section 51, subsections 2 and 3 for the guidance. According to him, the law reads that where the number of votes cast in an election in any polling unit exceeds the number of accredited voters in that polling unit, the presiding officer shall cancel the result of the election in that polling unit.
258 and 342,980 votes. These votes were pulled by APC, which had 388, 258, and PPP, which had 342,908. When we look at the difference is 45,278. And we checked electoral laws. On page 31 of the Electoral Act 2022, section 51, subsection 2 and 3 for guidance. The subsection 2 reads, where the number of votes cast at an election in any polling unit exceeds the number of accredited voters in that polling unit, the presiding officer shall cancel the results of the election in that polling unit. Subsection 3 of that section, that's section 51 reads, where the results of an election is cancelled in accordance with subsection 2, there shall be no return for the election until another poll has taken place in the affected polling unit. By virtue of these provisions and the powers vested in me as the collation and returning officer of 2023 general elections of gubernatorial election in Kebbi State, I, Professor Yusuf Saidu of the Usman Ampodio University, Sokoto, hereby declare the gubernatorial election in Kebbi State inconclusive. Thank you and God.
While INEC has uploaded 124,537 election results from the governorship and state houses of assembly elections. According to reports, opposition parties and some Nigerians criticized INEC over its failure to upload results immediately on its result viewing portal during the presidential election. Recall that immediately. Reports say election results were uploaded in 28 states. They include Ogun, Plateau, Zamfara, Yobe, Taraba, Akwa Ibom, Sokoto, Cross River states, among others. A breakdown of law and order following tensions generated from the collation result of the governorship and House of Assembly elections in the state. The State Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Mohammed Garaba, said this in a statement issued today. According to him, the decision was to prevent hoodlums spur anyone or group bent on causing trouble. In a related development, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has announced the candidate of the new Nigeria as of today amid growing tension in the state. According to the result declared by the returning officer for the Kano State governorship elections, Ahmed Ibrahim, the NNPP candidate polled who polled 890,705 votes.
Yusuf Abba Kabir of NNPP scored 1,019,602 votes. That Yusuf Abba Kabir of NNPP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Dated this day.
Formed to recompile the governorship erupted in the local government where miscreants were seen carting away with some of the election result, as he said was speculated in some quarters. He assured the public that the winner of the polls would be announced. According to the electoral union, has thanked God for always blessing the state with good leaders and expressed gratitude to the people of the state for their good judgment in choosing Pastor Omoina. And the judge concluded this when he received the governor-elect Pastor Omoina at the Hilton Mansion shortly after the declaration of Eno as winner of the March 18 gubernatorial magnanimity to accommodate all. He also called on everybody to join hands to move the state forward. Also speaking, the governor-elect Pastor and also appreciated the people of Akwa Ibom State for entrusting his team with their mandate, and particularly the State First Lady Martha Emmanuel for championing the rigorous campaign on the achievements of preceding administrations and to deepen the peace Akwa Ibom has been known for. Government House correspondent Jen Juarez. Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom State Collation Officer Emmanuel Adidi has yesterday announced Omoina of the PDP as the governor-elect of the Saturday, March 18 election. The PDP governorship candidate gathered 354,348 votes to be disclosed as competition Basi Albert of the YPP, who gathered 136,262 votes, and APC Ekanodofia, who scored 129,602 votes. The party agent, Wim Edimo, on behalf of his principal, noted that the victory of the governorship poll was well deserving.
Eno Umo Basi, male, PDP, 356,348 votes. That Eno Umo Basi of PDP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Signed, returning officer. Thank you very much.
I want to thank God today for the victory of the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom. I said before that PDP is the landlord in Akwa Ibom. We did it on February 25, and we have done it again today. Pastor Umar Basieno is now the governor-elect of Akwa Ibom State, and he will be sworn in May 29, and he will be there till May 2031. I want to thank all Akwa Ibomites. I want to thank the security men. I want to thank His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, who has created an enabling environment for peace to reign, for a peaceful election in Akwa Ibom. I want also to thank all other contestants that have shown sportsmanship in this contest. I want to take the result back to my principal and the party, the chairman of the party, for onward transmission to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. You have seen the pattern of the election. The election is completely free and fair. It's done with the latest technology, Beaver's technology. Nobody can manipulate, and all the agents have signed. You have seen even the APC agent has signed the result. All other agents have signed except one. That will be my principal, the governor-elect, will address Akwa Ibom on that matter.
We move now to Africa, where China has condemned the killing of Chinese nationals by militants in Central African Republic, CAR, outside the capital, Bangkok. A statement from the Foreign Ministry said that Chinese President Xi Jinping has called for severe punishment for the perpetrators. The mayor of the central Bembari town disclosed to newsmen that 9 bodies were found dead and 2 wounded in the attack. Meanwhile, the Chinese embassy in Bangui has urged citizens to avoid traveling outside the capital following the killings, raising the alert levels to very high. It said its government would work with embassies and governments to safeguard its citizens in African countries. Still in Africa, Kenya Airways Curfew has announced the closure of its booking offices in the western city of Kisumu and South Africa's Johannesburg today due to planned anti-government protests in both countries. In a statement, Kenya Airways said the booking offices would reopen on Tuesday. According to the statement, the move does not affect the operations of other booking offices within the airports of the mentioned cities. On a foreign scene, strong earthquakes have reportedly hit southern Ecuador and northern Peru, killing at least 15 people and trapping others under rubble. The Ecuadorian president Guillermo Lasso said the earthquake generated alarm in the population and called for calmness among the people. In a statement, the president's office noted that 12 of the victims died in the coastal state of El Oro, Ecuador, and 2 in the highland state of Azuaz. Meanwhile, authorities reported that at least 126 people were injured. The Peruvian Prime Minister Alberto Otarola said a 4-year-old girl had died from head trauma as a result of the collapse of her home in the Tumbes region, which shares border with Ecuador. Still on the foreign scene, President Gustavo Petro has suspended a ceasefire with Colombia's biggest drug trafficking group, accusing it of attacking civilians. Petro, on his Twitter page, said he was ordered security forces to resume all military operations against the Gulf clan. Meanwhile, Colombia government says the clan is behind harassment and attacks on people in Northwest over the past 2 weeks. And still to come in the news, Paris Saint-Germain loses 2-0 to Rennes in Ligue 1 clash. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us, and now to the rest of the news stories. In our business news, the federal government, through its Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has increased the supply of premium motor spirit PMS, popularly called petrol, to independent oil marketers in a bid to avert a further hike in the pump price of the commodity. Oil marketers confirmed that the national oil company listened to their demands for an increase in the volumes of PMS released to independent filling stations so as to curb the widening disparity in the cost of petrol. It stated that the move by NNPCL had now improved the availability of products in retail outlets operated by independent marketers, adding that the national oil firm also promised to sustain the supply. Still in business, the Monetary Policy Committee (MPC) is set to begin its two-day meeting on the economy today amid the economic crisis fueled by the now redesigned policy and fuel scarcity. Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) disclosed on its website that the 290th MPC meeting will hold today and tomorrow. The CBN governor and chairman of the committee, Godwin Emefiele, said it is unhealthy for the economy to have an inflation rate that is significantly higher than the monetary policy rate. Recall that at the last MPC meeting in January, the committee voted to raise the monetary policy rate by 100 basis points to 17.5%. In health, nutritionist and dietitian Olushola Malomo has warned Nigerians against high consumption of eggs, noting that it may increase the risks of brain cancer and hypertension. The expert explained that eggs are the main source of dietary cholesterol, advising that they must be consumed moderately. According to him, 1 egg per day is recommended for children from 6 months to 5 years, stressing that people who are older and overweight should not eat more than 3 eggs in a week. He added that our concerns about excessive intake of eggs in Africa and indeed Nigeria is the elevation of cholesterol, particularly the unhealthy one, which if uncontrolled can predispose one to some forms of cardiovascular diseases. Still in health, public medical experts have cautioned Nigerians experiencing excessive sweating against ignoring it, noting that they should seek the help from health experts on the causes. The expert explained that excessive sweating may be linked to a medical condition known as hyperhidrosis and hyphoresis, noting that it could be a pointer to ailments like diabetes, thyroid issue, infections, and nervous system disorders. According to a professor of public health, Jacob Adegoke, and another public health expert, Dr. Olaposi Olaturegu, it's important for those experiencing frequent excessive sweating to see a doctor. Dr. Olaturegu, however, explained that secondary hyperhidrosis could be caused by medication, hormonal medications, and antidepressants. We move to sports, where Paris Saint-Germain's march towards another Ligue 1 title was slowed as they went down 2-0 at home to Rennes. The result allowed Marseille to close the gap on the leaders to 7 points with 10 games remaining. Kylian Mbappe had in an effort disallowed for offside before Karl Ekambi put Rennes in front with a magnificent strike right on halftime. Meanwhile, Arnaud Calimando made it 2-0 3 minutes after the restart against his former club. Still in sports, Manchester City will be facing Championship side Sheffield United in the FA Cup semi-finals, while Brighton will play Manchester United. City progressed to the last 4 with a 6-0 win over Burnley. Meanwhile, the Blades beat Blackburn 3-2 before Brighton ended League 2 Granby's dream run to the last 8 with a 5-0 win. But semi-finals will take place at Wembley Stadium across the weekend of 22 through 23 April. Brighton last reached the FA Cup semi-finals in 2019, while Manchester United are 12-time winners. On our entertainment news, global streaming service Prime Video has announced that Its first African original movie, Gangs of Lagos, will be launched on April 7 in Nigeria, Sub-Saharan Africa, and worldwide exclusively on Prime Video. According to the filmmaker, Jade Osiberu, Gangs of Lagos is one of the most highly anticipated films to come out of the world's second largest film industry, Nollywood, this year. Prime Video also revealed the key art with a teaser trailer and character posters, and it is set to star Toby Bakre, Adeswa Tommy Wellington, Chike Osebuka, among others. Still on entertainment news, the Big Brother Titans eviction has seen 3 housemates leave the house. Blue Ava, Nana, and Miracle were evicted during the live show. They had the fewest votes among the BB Titans housemates nominated for eviction. Recall that Big Brother dissolved all pairs, which means the competition is back to being a solo game. Housemates are officially competing on their own. And that's all we have for you this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You've been watching Spectrum TV News. I am Francis Edit. Many thanks for watching and do have a lovely day.